Hi, welcome to Vic and Moon Sports Chat. I'm Vic and welcome to Across the Pond, our show all about North American sports. Everything you need to know about what's going on the other side of the pond. For us, at least, it's on the other side of the pond. There you go. Hey, welcome. This is, I think, our fifth edition of the show. And today, let's get into the topics. Then we'll know more. Let's get into those topics quickly. Yes, got to talk about the World Series. It's over. It's done. We have a new champion. Well, we have a new old champion, put it that way. Then, today, the state of California, but I have to break California into two segments, Northern California and Southern California. So this week we're going to do Southern California. Next week, we're going to do Northern California. Because, look, the book here tells me you got 4 NBA teams in California. You've got 5 Major League Baseball teams, 3 NHL teams, 3 NFL teams, 4 football teams. You've got WNBA teams. So you've got so many teams. Just couldn't put it all into one show. Otherwise, we'd be here for about 3 hours, man. And that's not the idea. We're trying to keep these shows down to half an hour, kind of short, of course, very sweet. That's what we're trying to do. But I hope you guys are having a great time. So that's the topics today. NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, obviously, the World Series, NBA, a little bit of NASCAR, a little bit of college football, and of course, Southern California sports. And we're not going to get into all of them all the time, so don't worry about it. There you go. If you want to contact us, top here, hit the email. That's our email address. So if you need to contact us for anything else, do hit that email address. But don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification button. It would help if I put the topics over there. There you go. And we had 106,000, so there you go. And the email we can add in as well. There you go. So let's start off. Let's get into it. Huh? So, only one place to start, and we've got to start with the Major League Baseball, I guess. Huh? So, the World Series. Where did I put that? There's always a good question there. Now, you're telling me, honestly, I forgot the World Series. Well, it doesn't really matter because the LA Dodgers have won the World Series. Look, Game 7, massive Game 7. I didn't think they could do it. I didn't think they could win 2 games in Toronto. I knew they'd win Game 6 because everybody knew Yamamoto would take care of business. He's been the outstanding pitcher of this whole series. But then in Game 7, they just did it and they defended their title. And I mean, look, it's been a long time since somebody has gone back to back for the World Series. So congratulations to the LA Dodgers. Just a great organization. We'll get into them a little bit more when we do all the sports teams from Southern California. Vern Isel in the house there. Hi, Vern. So yeah, that is the Major League Baseball. We'll get into that a little bit more. Let's have a look at the NFL from last week. Look, the Ravens beat the Dolphins, to be expected. The Bears and the Bengals. I mean, they were trying to break a record there. We almost had 100 points scored in a game, but the Bears did come out on top there. Joe Flacco looked good, 4 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. The Vikings beat the Lions, a little bit of a surprise for me. The Panthers beating the Packers, definitely a surprise for me. Chargers beating the Titans, no surprise there. Titans not a very good team. Falcons losing to my Patriots, yes baby. The 49ers beating the Giants. The Colts losing 20-27 to the Steelers. I didn't expect that, but hey, well done to the Steelers. Coach Tomlin's got them cooking again. Aaron Rodgers looks good. The defense looks phenomenal. The Broncos beat the Texans 18-15. The Jaguars beat the Raiders in a tight one there, 30-29. The Saints losing to the Rams, expected. The Chiefs lose to the Bills. Look, maybe the worst game I've ever seen from a statistical point of view, Patrick Mahomes play. Mahomes, I don't know he's not quite cooking this season, as we would say. But Josh Allen, Bills definitely cooking. Seahawks, good win against the Commanders. The Cardinals beat the Cowboys. Cowboys gone crazy. We'll talk about it afterwards. We're going to get into the NFL trades. And then, of course, we had 4 teams on a bye. The Eagles, the Bucks, the Jets, and the Browns were all on a bye this week. Let me just do that quickly like that. There you go. So that was that. That was this week. So let's have a look quickly at the standings before we get into next week. We'll start in the... Where will we start? That's a good question. Well, let's start in the AFC, and I'm just gonna open this up a little bit. There you go. So we'll start in the AFC. Look, only one place to start, AFC East. My Patriots are on top again, looking good. I mean, look, the Bills are close. The Bills are close, and I still think the Bills are going to win the division. But I'm very happy there. Patriots on top ahead of the Bills. Miami and New York plan for next season. Jets definitely already planning for next season with all the trades that they made. They trade a lot of their good options away already. Then Pittsburgh, looking good there in the AFC North. I think Baltimore will still get a playoff spot. I can't see Baltimore not making the playoffs. Then in the AFC South, Colts obviously suffered only their second loss this season. Jacksonville is there. Texas not looking good. Surprise, surprise. I do not know what's wrong with Texas at the moment. And then at the bottom, the AFC West, what a tight race that is. But the Broncos are out in front at the moment, ahead of the Chargers and the Kansas City Chiefs. So yeah, Chiefs got a lot of work to do there. Then we move into the NFC. Eagles are out in front in the East. I think it's the only team from the NFC East that makes the playoffs. Then in the NFC North, Green Bay Packers, Detroit Lions, Chicago Bears, all very tight there. Even the Vikings. Two teams I think could make the playoffs out of that group. Then we go to the NFC South. Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming off a bye this week, so let's see what they can do. Carolina Panthers looking good, over 500. Falcons, I think it's not going to be enough. And the New Orleans Saints planning for next year. Seattle, Los Angeles, San Francisco, all in the hunt there for a playoff spot. I think all three of them are going to make the playoffs. I think we're going to get 3 out of the West. I think we'll get 1 out of the South, 2 out of the North, and 1 out of the East. That's my 7 predictions. But talking about the predictions, let's have a look. This would be the playoffs if it started tomorrow, if the season was over. Colts, Patriots, Broncos, Steelers, Bills, Chargers, and Jaguars. Obviously, the Colts would have the bye in week 1. Eagles, Buccaneers, Seahawks, Packers, Rams, 49ers, and Lions. So, yeah, there's a lot of good teams missing there. We are the Ravens. We are the Chiefs. We are the Cowboys. I mean, yeah, expected a lot better, a lot more of those teams to be in the playoffs. Then let's have a look what's coming up, and then we'll get into all the trades. Here we go. So this is coming up this week on NFL, and I can tell you one thing. There is one game definitely going to be on this channel on the weekend, and that is the Patriots against the Buccaneers. My favorite 2 teams, obviously because I'm a Tom Brady fan, and Brady played for both of them. I'm rooting for the Patriots. I think the Bucs are going to win. It's a win-win situation for me. Where are some other games that I'm really looking forward to? Look, Ravens against the Vikings should be good. What else? Eagles, Packers, interesting game. Rams, 49ers, another big battle coming up there. Then, of course, we have 4 teams again on a bye, on a rest weekend. The Bengals, the Cowboys. The Cowboys need a rest. The Titans and the Chiefs. Cowboys need a rest so they can implement all their new players that they've traded for. Let's get that out the way, and let's have a look at those trades now. There we go. It was NFL trade deadline yesterday. So, who went where, who came, and who went. I chose 4 trades. I only chose 4, not 5. 4. I chose 4 trades yesterday that I thought were interesting trades. First of all, Quinton Williams, defensive tackle from the New York Jets. The Jets. He's going to the Cowboys. What are the Cowboys giving up for this? They're giving up a 2nd-round pick in 2026 and a 1st-round pick in 2027. And they did send defensive tackle Maisie Smith over to the Jets. So the Jets definitely in rebuild modus, and they're not making the playoffs. Cowboys are hoping still to make the playoffs. I doubt it. Then the Jets were not finished. They sent Sauce Gardner, the cornerback, sensational talent. I think one of the best cornerbacks in the league. They sent he went from the Jets to the Colts, so the Colts are stacking up there. I think the Colts are all in now at the moment. What did it cost the Colts? Well, they got to give them 2026 1st-round pick, a 2027 1st-round pick, and they sent wide receiver Adonai Mitchell the other way. Then a wide receiver, and wide receivers are always in demand. Rashid Shaheed, the wide receiver, he went from the Saints to the Seahawks. So I know my friend Dominic there, he will be happy about that. The Seahawks are, they're also a little bit all in at the moment. Looking good for the Seahawks. What did they have to give up for Shaheed? They gave up a fourth and a fifth round pick in 2026. Last but not least, another good wide receiver. I know him because he used to play for my Patriots. Jacoby Myers, wide receiver. He's leaving the Raiders because the Raiders are not going anywhere. He's going to the Jaguars, so some more weapons there for Trevor Lawrence. They gave up a fourth and a sixth round pick in the 2026 draft. So, they didn't give up too much. But Jacoby Myers, I think he's a good player and could do something. Hi, Rose Garden. So, I won't toss the papers like Vern, but that is our NFL trades. That's the NFL for today. So let's get into the NHL quickly. Just some of the results that were yesterday night. In the morning show, I did mention all of them, but I forgot. Well, it wasn't finished the game. The Kings did beat the Jets. Check out your results of your favorite team there. Not going to get into too much. Just got to mention my Golden Knights did beat the Red Wings. Let's have a look at the NFL and the standings. Let's go to the Eastern Conference. In the Atlantic Division, table toppers are the Montreal Canadiens ahead of the Detroit Red Wings and the Boston Bruins. Surprise, surprise, the reigning two-time champion Florida Panthers are at the bottom. They started the season off really well and it's kind of come unstuck at the moment. Then in the Metropolitan Division, the New Jersey Devils, surrounded by all those good Swiss players there around Nico Hischier. Ahead of the Pittsburgh Penguins, nice to see the Penguins up in the table again. And the Hurricanes, Washington Capitals with Ovechkin there, his last season. And the two New York teams, New Yorkers, what is wrong with you people, man? You suck. Then we go into the Western Conference, into the Central Division. Out in front, the Colorado Avalanche, who play out of Denver. Ahead of the Winnipeg Jets and the Utah Mammoth, doing really well there. St. Louis Blues. But St. Louis last season also had a tough start, and then all of a sudden they went on this nice winning streak, so wouldn't count out the Blues quite yet. Then, of course, in the Pacific, you have the Anaheim Ducks ahead of my Golden Knights, the Seattle Kraken. At the bottom, you have the Calgary Flames and the San Jose Sharks not doing too well, so they need to step up their game. Then we rattle on. You know what? Before we get into any of the NBA and into the NASCAR and stuff like that, let's introduce Southern California. Let's have a look at it. Of course, that's the state of California. For me, Southern California starts south of Monterey. So we're going to be talking about everything south of Monterey, all the way down to the Mexican border and down to San Diego. Look, the capital of California is, of course, Sacramento. California got into the Union in 1850. Around about 40 million people living in California. And the biggest city is obviously LA. So let's get that out the way. Some interesting things. You can see the beach in the background. That is a Malibu area there. Been there a few times. Very, very nice. But, nice places to go to. The Santa Monica Pier. I've been to all these places. Yosemite National Park. I think that's a beautiful place, man. Then, of course, Monterey, the aquarium there in Monterey, good place to visit. Good evening. Somebody just came home. Then, of course, you can't go to California and not visit Hollywood. A lot of acting going on there. Then, of course, downtown Los Angeles. Yeah, is it a tourist destination? No, not really. Then don't forget Route 66. Personal photo of mine. That's the end of Route 66. Ends up in Santa Monica. And of course you have beautiful San Diego and the San Diego Zoo and everything like that. But I did choose something that I like a lot because I think the food there is so fantastic. Hotel Coronado down there in Coronado on the island there of in San Diego. Also where the military bases is. There's a lot of cool things to be done in Southern California. You still have Palm Springs, Disney World, all that stuff going on there. So Huntington Beach, Redondo Beach, check it all out, man. Good place to go. But let's have a look at the teams that are in the, in Southern California. There's only one place to start, and that's the Lakers. Look, the Los Angeles Lakers, iconic team, founded in 1946. They actually started as the Detroit Gems. Then a year later, they changed and became the Minneapolis Lakers. And then in 1906, they moved from Minneapolis to Los Angeles, became the LA Lakers. That's why they're called the Lakers, because they were around the Minneapolis area that has lakes. There are no lakes in Los Angeles, you know. Oh no, La Brea there, the mud pit or whatever, the boiling water lake. There you go. Where do the Lakers play? Well, the Lakers play in Crypto.com Arena, beautiful arena. They share that with the LA Kings, share that stadium with them. I think the Sparks share that stadium with them. So there you go. Who are the iconic players that have played for the Lakers? I mean, look, we could be here for 2 hours mentioning all of them. I just mentioned the big boys. Wilt, I almost said Wilt. Yeah, Wilt Chamberlain was one of them. But definitely Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, an all-time great of the Lakers. And of course, how can you go past Magic Johnson, of course. Showtime, Irvin Magic Johnson. What a player he was. Then you can't forget these three boys, Elgin Baylor, Jerry West, and Wilt Chamberlain. You just can't get past them. Then in the closer future, I chose Kobe. I could have put Shaq out there, but I did Shaq when he was in Florida. So, and I always thought it was Kobe's team. Shaq, may you forgive me for saying that, but you know, Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, of course. Iconic player. I didn't take LeBron because, you know, he just moved around too much. And when we do the state of Ohio, I would put LeBron in there. And then, of course, at the moment, it's Luka's team. You know, it is Luka's team. I think he's the future of the Lakers. There is another team that plays basketball in Southern California, and that is the Clippers. Oh, yeah, no, before we get to the Clippers, take it away. Of course, we've got to talk about Pat Riley was a real cool coach there. Then with the Showtime Lakers, you had James Worthy, Byron Scott, Michael Cooper, Kurt Rambis. You had them all playing for the Lakers. I mean, iconic owner, Dr. Jerry Buss. He passed away. His family are owning it for now. I think the sales going on of the Lakers at the moment. But, you know, iconic team. And like I said, Luka Doncic, the future. I hope they keep Austin Reeves. Another good player that I think they should be keeping. If you're going to trade somebody, trade LeBron. Slim Luka, there you go. Yeah. Then we talk about the Clippers. They play in the Intuit Dome. So we'll put that out the back. Probably the most beautiful basketball arena in the world. I mean, look at that. I mean, the owner there, Steve Ballmer, wasted wasn't stingy. He just put money into it. I mean, look at that. If you're sitting there, I mean, geez, the statistics you can read off that video wall is unbelievable. What a stadium it is. Now they just got to have a good team to go with it. I mean, look, legends from them. Bob McAdoo, Danny Manning. We'll put him out there. Where I got Danny there. Danny Manning. Alton Brand, Blake Griffin played for them. Then, of course, their stars right now. You got to go Chris Paul, Kawhi Leonard, and James Harden. They're the ones that are supposed to bring glory back to the Clippers, who have never won a championship. Their downtown rivals, the Lakers, have won 18. There you go. Then there's another team that plays basketball in Southern California. That's the Los Angeles Sparks, the ladies team. They've won 3 titles. They won one in 201, 202, and 216. Funny enough, Magic Johnson is a co-owner of the Sparks, and so is Todd Bowley, the owner of Chelsea Football. They're superstars, quite easy. You talk about LA Sparks, it's only one person you can talk about, and that is Lisa Leslie. I mean, for me, maybe the most iconic women's basketball player ever to play the game. What an ambassador, what a true superstar. Yes, Candace Parker did play for them. Kelsey Plum is their star right now, doing great stuff for them. But, you know, since 2016, it's been 9 years since they've won a title. So that's a long time for the LA Sparks. Almost forgot their name there for a second. Then we move on, to baseball, boys and girls. And of course, we've got to talk about the Dodgers. The reigning 2 times World Series champion. I mean, look, they've won 9 championships, the Dodgers, the iconic franchise. I mean, this man you cannot not mention if you talk about the LA Dodgers. Jackie Robinson, the first African-American to ever play in the major leagues. I mean, we don't even want to get into that shameful history of the major leagues before that. What a player Jackie Robinson was. Then, of course, they had that iconic coach. I remember growing up with this man, Tommy Lasorda. Sometimes he looked like a mafia boss on the sidelines. I loved him, you know. They used to still smoke in the dugouts in those days. Then, of course, one of my favorite players of all time, Mike Piazza. You know, then you have Clayton Kershaw, you have Oral Hershiser, Sandy Koufax, the left arm guard. I mean, let's be honest, we could mention so many. Don't want to waste too much time. And of course, their main man right now, Shohei Ohtani, the superstar that is a superstar. And funnily enough, he started his career at the other team that plays out of Southern California. That is the California Angels. He was actually an Angels player. He got drafted by the Angels, but they let him go to the Dodgers for big money. The Angels have won 1 title. Like I mentioned, the Dodgers have won 9. Look, who have they had? I'm just going to mention one of the top players. Look, Vladimir Guerrero Sr. Now, if you've heard that name before, it's because his son played in the World Series this year for the Blue Jays. There you go. And then, of course, we have Mike Trout. That's the superstar that the Angels have right now. What a player he is. Great batsman, good fielder. I like Mike Trout. And I hope that the Angels, you know, do better in the future. Do better. I mean, the Angels is one of the oldest franchise in baseball. They were founded in 1892. There you go. Then there's one more team in Southern California, the San Diego Padres. They play at this beautiful stadium that I've personally been in, and that is called the Petco Park down there in San Diego. Beautiful city, San Diego. I've got to give it to them. Look, at the moment, I'm not going to mention the players that they've got now, but Tony Gwynn, he is Mr. Padre for me. What a player he was. And then, of course, somebody that I really like, Ken Caminiti, another great Padres player out there. We move on to hockey. And hey, you can't get past the LA Kings, baby. I got to make sure I get my sheets there. Right, there you go. There you go. Ice hockey, the LA Kings. And they're also playing at Crypto.com Arena, the same place the Lakers play. They've won 2 Stanley Cups, one in 2012 and one in 2014. Look, it all started for me with the LA Kings when they somehow got hold of Wayne Gretzky. I mean, that was like the biggest news in the world when Wayne Gretzky left the Oilers and went to the Kings. I mean, I thought Canada was going to try to invade the US when that happened. Look, their captain, they brought them a title, Dustin Brown. What a player he was. Liked him a lot. Of course, you have other players like Paul Correa, Timo Solani. Oh, didn't I put them out there? No. But they played for the Anaheim Ducks, sorry. Dustin Brown. And of course, at the moment, let's have a look. That was when they had that last win for the LA Kings. Bus parade through Los Angeles. And their superstar right now, I'm proud to say, Kevin Fiala, man from Switzerland. There you go. Then we go into the second team, the Anaheim Ducks. Used to be called the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. A lot of the younger audience obviously know the films about the Mighty Ducks. Kind of a little bit connected. They've won the Stanley Cup once. They won in 2007. Look, they're iconic players. Paul Correa, what a player he was. Great player for him. Ryan Getzlaf, another fantastic, iconic player. And then, man, you can't... Their top scorer of all times, Timo Solani, the man from Finland. Look, Finnish ice hockey players have really put their stamp on the NHL. Don't worry about it. Then we move to that American football. Wayne Gretzky. Yeah, Gretzky was fantastic, man. Then we look at the LA Chargers. Let me get my paper here. LA Chargers never, ever, ever won a Super Bowl, but they play in a beautiful stadium, the SoFi Stadium. You guys get used to the stadium because that's a few World Cup games in football are going to be in soccer will be played there next year. One of their all-time greats, the Damian Tomlinson. What a player he was. So yeah. Oh, I forgot somebody, I think. No, I didn't. There you go. The Damian Thompson. Then, sad, man. Junior Seau. If you guys followed this guy's career, what a player he was. And Maybe you've heard about all the helmets in the NFL and stuff like that. Junior Seau is one of the reasons some of those movies were made there. I think one was made with Will Smith about concussion and trauma to the head. Junior Seau was, he died way too early, man. He died way too early. And the hope that they have now is Justin Herbert, man. The Herbster. He's got to do it all. Him and Coach Harbaugh. I think they've got a good future. I can see if they stick with Justin Herbert, they give him some weapons. In the next 5 years, I think they can get a Super Bowl. I definitely do. Then there is a second team in LA, and that is the LA Rams. Look, the LA Rams, they were once the LA Rams, and they went to St. Louis. There was St. Louis Rams. Then they moved back to LA. They're owned by the Arsenal owner, the Kroenke family. They've won 2 Super Bowls in 1999 and 2021. Look, their all-time superstar, I mean, you can't get past this man. Eric Dickerson still holds the rushing record of 2,105 yards in the season. It's never been broken. I thought Saquon was going to break it last year, but then he didn't play the last game of the season. I think he could have broken it. And don't forget, a little bit more games now. I think there's a game more than in Dickerson's era. When they did win that title, they're all the way back in 1999. This was the star man, Kurt Warner. You might know him. He's always on NFL Game Day and stuff like that. I like the guy. He's a great, for me, one of the best pundits in football at the moment. Then they do have this coach that I think is a phenomenon, Sean McVay. What a great coach. He brought them the title in 2021. And he did it with this defensive monster, Aaron Donald. He's just retired last year. I mean, the man is a specimen, man, a specimen. So there you go. So let's get back to the results. That is Southern California. Don't forget, next week, Northern California. What is in Northern California? Well, the 49ers are there. The Warriors are there. Who else is there? You got the Athletics, the San Francisco Giants, the Sharks in NFL, Major League Baseball, Major League Soccer will do all the teams. Galaxy, LAFC, San Jose, so they're all going to be there. And you do have a women's team in the WNBA, a new franchise, the Valkyries. So we'll be talking about that next week. Next week we're doing Northern California. But let's get back to some of the results. And like I said, we haven't done the NBA today. Those are the results from last night. That Clippers game is not in the third quarter anymore. The Thunder did win and are still unbeaten, as you will see when we go to the Western Conference. There you go. The Oklahoma City Thunder 8-0, the only unbeaten team in the NBA. Doing well, looking good. I mean, impressive way to try to defend your title. San Antonio doing well. The Lakers are doing well as well. New Orleans, Dallas, Sacramento, Phoenix, Memphis. What is wrong with you people, man? What is wrong with you people? Then we look at the East. The beast of the East is the Chicago Bulls. I like that. I like that. It's time the Chicago Bulls are back on top. Philadelphia 76ers, Pistons, Milwaukee Bucks. I'm worried. The Brooklyn Nets, not a win not to on their account yet. Washington not looking good. Indiana suffering without Halliburton. The Celtics suffering without Jason Tatum. So, lots to play for still there. That is the East. We had the West. Players of the week. These are the 2 players of the week. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He had 28 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 6.5 assists. So he gets the player of the week in the Western Conference. And in the Eastern Conference, it's Tyrese Maxey, averaging 33.5 points a game, 5.3 rebounds, and 9.8 assists. Tyrese Maxey is also the #1 scorer in the NBA at the moment. Oh, man. Then we have a new champion. We have a new champion, his second championship, Kyle Larson. He won the NASCAR. That was that showdown there in Phoenix. Was it the Phoenix Raceway? It was Kyle Larson, William Byron, Danny Hamlin, and Chase Briscoe. There you go. They were all still vying for the championships. But hey, there you go. The champion, Kyle Larson, that's his second championship. The young man out of California winning the NASCAR. The true NASCAR fans, the boys from down south there, southeast I'm talking about. Yeah, they don't like it when a Californian wins the NASCAR. It's got to be somebody from North Carolina or something like that. That's traditional, So Kyle Larson wins it, and we'll see what happens next year. Then college football. I'm not going to go through all the results of the weekend, but it's hotting up. This would be the playoff picture, a projected playoff picture as it stands right now. You do know that the way it works in the college football, there is a committee that ranks the teams, and the top 12 teams are going to the playoffs. The top 4 get a bye in the first week, so they're in the quarterfinals. Who would get a bye at the moment? It would be the Oklahoma State Buckeyes, the Indiana Hoosiers, the Texas A&M Aggies, and the Alabama Crimson Tide. They would have a bye. In the first round, we'd be having the Memphis Tigers against the Georgia Bulldogs, the Oregon Ducks against the Texas Tech Red Raiders, the Virginia Cavaliers against the Ole Miss Rebels, Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, will take on BYU Cougars. Cougars, no, not what you guys think. Cougars is a cat. Sorry about that, I just had to add that in. So that would be your national college playoffs at the moment. I can tell you, college semifinals, definitely on this channel. Might even do a quarterfinal of the Alabama Crimson Tide. But hey, that is our wrap up of the Across the Pond for this week. Don't forget, it's part 1 of a 2-part show next week, Wednesday, 1700 Central European Time. The second part of California, because California is just so massive with so many good teams. We'll be looking into Northern California. That means everything north of Monterey, Sacramento, San Jose, San Francisco, Oakland, all that part. You know, I'm looking forward to showing you some pictures from the Napa Valley, stuff like that, you know. Been around there, San Francisco, beautiful place as well. So check it out. So join me next week for that. A little bit of news. Later this evening, around about 8 o'clock, join Vern for EuroLeague basketball. It is Red Star Belgrade against Panathinaikos Athens. That's me. Let me sign out. See you guys next week for the next episode of Across the Pond. Enjoy, have a great evening, and be safe. Ciao, ciao.